Hello, welcome. Welcome to PSHS 6240, Political Violence and Terrorism. Welcome to the Homeland Security Program, and for most of you, welcome to George Washington University. I want to take this time to introduce the course and cover some of the major points that we're going to cover this in the next 8 weeks. So before I get into what this course is, I want to talk about what this course is not. This course is not a course on force protection. It's not a course on hostage rescue. It's not a course on link analysis. Some of you might be associating terrorism with some of those narrow focus areas due to courses in the military or courses in the federal government. This is not one of those courses. What this course is looking at terrorism as a social and political phenomenon. We're going to use multiple lenses to look at terrorism, albeit history, politics, policy studies, psychology, even a little bit of philosophy is thrown in there. So we're going to look at terrorism from a whole range of viewpoints. What I also just want to add is that this course is meant to be intellectually focused, intellectually challenging. It is not a course that you might be familiar with if you're in the military, where you try and click through to get the certification at the end. You need to think through every week. You need to listen to lectures, take notes, do the readings, apply what you learn to the discussion boards, and it all will build itself on to the final. So I want to make sure that's clear ahead of time. So the course layout, again, 8-week course. It's really a 16-week course compressed into 8 weeks. So you can't get left behind. There's significant amount of work each week. Please stay current with the work. And again, this might be something that you have to do almost every other day or every day. So week 1, terrorism as an existential threat. How much money we spend, how much time we spend, how much media coverage terrorism gets. Is it in proportion to the threat that we all face? And I'll let you decide. And again, we'll go through that in the first week. Week 2, we'll have history part 1, where we'll talk about terrorism from World War II up to 9/11 and up to the Al-Qaeda threat. As I mentioned, we're going to use history as kind of a lens to look at the terrorism problem. And the second part is my favorite. What is terrorism, or what is a terrorist? Different people agree and disagree. Different countries agree and disagree. Different parts of the U.S. government agree and disagree. What is terrorism? And we're going to explore that in depth. And that'll be preparation for your paper that will be on the same subject. Week 3, history part 2. This will cover the road to 9/11 and the historical underpinnings of 9/11 and really the historical underpinnings of the rise of ISIS. Week 4, again, 2 sections, terrorism adaptation. We're going to look at different terrorist groups and look how they've adapted to counterterrorism and why certain ones succeed while others fail, and what are the variables that lead to success or failure. And then we'll do WMD terrorism, really the only terrorism that presents an existential threat to the United States. It could kill thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. And we're going to look how viable, how potential, what are the variables for success or failure regarding WMD terrorism. Week 5, we'll look at counterterrorism policy in the United States. We'll look at counterterrorism policy in other countries and compare and contrast what works, what doesn't. Week 6 will be intelligence and counterterrorism. Why do we keep seeing success and failures regarding our counterterrorism policy or intelligence failures or intelligence successes? And we'll look at different case studies that will emphasize each. Week 7 will be dedicated to domestic terrorism. We'll first look at the American jihadist threat, the Americans that go to fight alongside Al-Qaeda and ISIS, and we'll look at why that happens. And the second part will be right-wing extremism, which is surging as of 2022, 2023 in our country. And we'll look at the history of it and how it applies to what we're seeing right now. And then week 8, we'll look at the January 6th riot. We'll look at the intelligence surrounding it and the failures surrounding the January 6th riot. And it's kind of a capstone because it'll cover a lot of the topics I just talked about, whether it's defining terrorism, right-wing extremism, counterterrorism policy, intelligence and counterterrorism. So that will be kind of our final case study. But there'll be also a final paper and a final that you will all be responsible for in week 8. And I want to give you plenty of time to study for that and to do the work for that. So work products. 2 group papers and 1 group presentation. So I want to make sure this is clear at the onset because it's a little confusing. Every one of you, there's 3 real products. I'm going to break you up into 3 groups. Group 1, during week 3, will do a presentation. Everyone else will do a paper. During week 5, group 2 will do a presentation. Everyone else will do a paper. During the final week, group 3 will do a presentation, and everyone else will do a paper on that topic. So you will be doing 2 papers total individually, and 1 group presentation as a group. And you'll see it however you get broken down, but week by week. So I want to make sure that's clear at the onset. Please email me if you're not clear on what group you're in or whether you're doing a group project or individual project. But again, the presentations will be live WebEx sessions, and we'll be holding 3 of them, obviously, for 3 different groups. And you'll get the dates for that in your up front. So that's the major work products. You'll also be doing weekly discussion boards, which are graded, and I expect you to put effort into it, but I'm going to be a little bit more liberal on the grading, understanding that it's a discussion point. So you can bring up new thoughts and ideas and look at what your classmates say. And then finally, there'll be a final exam. It's not going to be hard. If you studied, basically did any of the work, you'll do fine on the final. It's not a gotcha exam. So those are the main aspects. Again, you're going to see YouTube used a lot in this course. You can see documentaries used, and you're going to see the lectures used as well. So if for some reason you're in a low bandwidth, let me know as soon as possible. I look forward to learning from all of you. I hope you are looking forward to this class. And again, if there's any questions or issues, don't hesitate to contact me.